Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface on the beta for the Warlords of Draenor in a brand new dungeon, and this is the Shadowmoon Burial Ground. Now, a lot of the trash is fast forwarded, as I tend to normally do, because goodness knows you don't want to sit through a 45-minute video where 35 minutes of it is trash. But yes, the reason why the trash seems so excessive and intensive is when we do the testing procedure on the beta for dungeons, you'll notice by the main buff bar at the top, there is like an Ankh, one of the Zandalari kind of symbols that we had back in there. And if I was to scroll over that, what that would show you is we have our level capped. So that's why stuff is difficult to do, because we're all capped at level 600, even though my item level is actually 647 or something like that, quite high. Right, so first boss up is Sadana Bloodfury. Couple of things you need to know from the get-go. Number one, don't stand on the purple runes round the side. You stand on the purple runes round the side, they will explode. Number two, you saw the black muckiness, which is going to appear again on the floor, like a little vortex, swirling vortex. Move away from it. A sword is going to come down from the sky, land in the ground, and then it's going to pulsate shadow damage. So you need to move away from them. As I've clearly said to the rest of the group here, the ad. The ad is very, very important indeed. I'll talk about the ad in a moment because it'll come back later today. We're just about to transition. In transition, move on to one of the white runes. The white runes are the safe runes. If you stand on there, you'll be absolutely okay. So you got the inside ones and then you got the outside ones. It doesn't matter which of the runes you stand on. As long as they're glowing white, you are safe. Again, lots more daggers coming down from the sky, but I do believe after a certain amount of time they will just automatically vanish from the battleground. If they were to stay constantly, that would make the fight a little bit more interesting, and in heroic mode it would be very interesting to see if that is the case. This is just normal. So you can clearly see when the ad is coming in, there is a big link between the ad and the boss. Why is it so important to kill the ad? If the ad gets to the boss, it heals her up dramatically. Not a little bit, a lot a bit. So if you were just to ignore it, let it go through, you're going to get yourselves into a fair bit of trouble. And towards, I think the next time the ad comes in, we see the paladin is just focusing the boss. The paladin doesn't even bother. The tank is even helping us defeat the ad. Don't get lazy. It's the worst thing you can do. Don't get apathetic. Don't get lazy. Don't leave it for somebody else. Do it. If you do it, it's done, dusted, and you can proceed through the fight with any problems, without any problems whatsoever. So it's entirely up to you if that's the way you want to play the game. But yeah, ad is the utmost of priorities. And then it's kind of like a rinse and repeat. Here we go. Here's another ad coming in. Actually, I think this is the final one. So I'm just going to keep DPSing the boss, drop a stun, because the ad is stunnable, drop a stun, and keep the dots on the boss so we can just burn it down. So in that occasion it was okay, because the boss was so low on health, you could make a judgment call whether or not to stop DPS on the boss and finish the ad off, or carry on the boss. If you're unsure, if you're not positive that you've probably got enough DPS to blow it down before the ad gets there, just stop, focus it. It's not hard. Just stop, or what you're doing, focus it. Thankfully, the trash going from the first boss to second boss isn't too bad. It's just about 3 packs or so down a wee corridor. And I start to explain the tactics for the next boss for the group here. I ask them if they know what to do, and somebody says no. So I start to explain the tactics, and then the tank's just kind of like, screw you, let's go. And he just sort of like jumps in halfway through the explanation, but never mind. So let's kind of go on what this boss does. This is a really cool boss. Not only does it look amazing, but it's got some really cool mechanics as well. So it's called Nelish. That's kind of what I'm going with at the moment. And you start off with regular, normal kind of fight mechanic. Just start DPSing. But some really cool stuff is going to happen. You're going to get your soul ripped away from you. You're going to get this vortex here, which will start to drag you in. Get out the vortex. If you've got any speed boosting mechanics as a class, and some people are trapped, use them. Druids, etc. Warlocks, if you've got Burning Rush, Get it on, get out. Now then, this is a very important section, your possessed soul. Once your soul's ripped from your body, you have a short period of time. You can see the debuff ticking down. You've got a short period of time with which to defeat your body. Once you've defeated your possessed soul, you need to right-click onto it and put it back in your body. If you don't right-click onto it, then you're in trouble. And if that debuff, I mean, you know, I was really close to the wire. I think I was literally on 0.00001 when I clicked onto the body there. But if you don't, what has been happening is you've literally either been taking a colossal amount of damage or you've been one-shot. And speaking of one-shots, we've now got kind of like a rain dance type of ability that's coming out here. And in previous builds of the Warlords beta, if that landed on you, you were one-shot. Now I think it's a little bit more generous. I think they've toned it down quite drastically, and it ticks now for around 10, 15, 20k. I think we're going to see towards the end. I think I stand in it for a little bit towards the end. When you see Vortex coming in, move away again. You don't want to get dragged into the boss. It's kind of like the Typhoon from the Druid and stuff. He'll do some nasty damage if you get stuck in there. And there we go. We've got this soul steal again. It's torn the soul from your body. This time though, I'm a little bit more prepared than last time. I'm just about to fire a haunt. Then I notice I get another Shadowfall proc. So I actually do Shadow Burn and Haunt, which dramatically increases my damage. Instead of by 20%, it's now increased it by 50%. And then right click on, boom, out I go. Only took 5k damage. And the boss is just below 1 million now, coming up actually towards 500,000, so we can pretty much finish it off. So I think it's going to do the rain dance in a second. Here we go. And I'm pretty sure I'm moving around too much, aren't I? Stand still, man! I'm pretty sure I stand in a blob or two and take a couple of... Here we go. I think this is it. Let's see, 16.5k, 19. So it maybe gets higher and higher the longer you stand in it. So it went from 16.5 to a nearly 20. But there you go. There's Nelish, which is the second boss. I'm not sure how the loot system's quite working at the moment. But I've got a little bit of time to procrastinate now because the amount of trash that goes between this boss and the next boss is colossal. All I can say is, at least on the live servers, we won't be inhibited by a level cap here at level 600. So if I was on the live servers now, I would actually have item level 647, and this would be a lot easier. But on the beta, this was just this is just a bloody nightmare. Absolute nightmare. But yeah, I'm not sure how the loot system's quite working. At the moment, we were just looting the bosses, and if you got something, you took it, and if you didn't get something, you didn't. So maybe, I'm not absolutely sure on this, we'll have to see when Warlords is released, but maybe you might be able to adjust the dungeon loot mechanics to either be, you know, random or to be personal loot. I'm not entirely sure on that. We'll have to see. So we're coming up to the third boss, which is Bonemaw. Very simple tactics which I give here. I'm trying to be witty and amusing, but you know, doesn't probably come off that way. But literally, kill ads, move out of crap, don't get sucked off by the boss. Now that, believe it or not, that is legitimate. That is legitimate mechanics for this fight. Look, I'm trying to be even funnier now. Just stop it as kill stuff. Right, here we go. First things first. You could see that it spat like a gallstone or something at the raid. Stand out of it, so don't stand in crap. You can see that it does like a conal attack in front of it. Move out of it. Don't stand in crap. So there you go. There's another gallstone coming in. Blah, blah, blah. So this is all my mechanics are great. Don't get sucked off by the boss. The boss is going to attack. Now, look, inhale. Boss is sucking us off. I cannot say fairer tactics than that. I was absolutely spot on. In actual fact, I think I get cocky now and tell the group. I'm sort of like, I told you so. About the sucking off bit. But yeah, there you go. Hey, cocky me to the rescue. But they are the basic mechanics of the fight. Now, I do say take care of ads. I think I got slightly confused because when the boss gets down to around about, I don't know, let's say 30% or so, it could be higher, could be slightly lower. It actually starts to move around the battlefield. It vanishes and then it pops up in another location. So I think that's what I might have got confused with ads. Now, you might be asking, can you get knocked off the sides? The answer is Yes. Now you see the water spouts that are just in the water. If you get knocked off into the sea, into the river, into the lagoon, then click onto the water spouts and it will throw you back into the battle. So there's no drama there. But it does take an awful amount of smacking, doesn't it? I mean, we've only knocked off 1.6 million. It's down to just sub 2 million. So there's definitely a lot of smacking which is involved in this fight. But yeah, it must be around about 50% then that the boss, or maybe it's just literal phases. It does a spitty phase where it's chucking the gallstones, then it does a suck off, then it does more spitting, then it sucks you off again. Wait a minute, that's sounding all wrong, isn't it? And then it moves. So it could literally be it's awesome when we're trying to run away from it, isn't it? Notice druids, by the way. Again, druids, use your speed mechanics to help people if you can. Rush or whatever it's called. And also, change to kitty form. That's a really good one to increase your speed. Nearly got smacked there. To increase your speeds. Again, I was using Burning Rush to increase my speed. Hunters, you might just want to go aspect. Not aspect for everybody. Personal speed aspect. Just to make you have a little bit of extra speed, because I don't think you get dazed, do you, when it's a personal aspect. But it's eventually going down. We've got it sub 1 million now, and it's moved to the other side. So it's literally moved from the top point to the right point, and now it's at the left-hand side as we're looking at it. So it has moved to 3 different locations, or at least it's been in 3 different locations from this. But it's actually an enjoyable battle. I know it feels a little bit laborious potentially watching it. I mean, I'm watching it thinking this doesn't look, you know, particularly awe-inspiring. But I guarantee you, when you're actually involved in this fight, with all the sucking off and the spitting, it's really good fun. God bless it. So it's nearly down. We've got it down to about 250 odd K. It's gone down again. It's gone down again. But I'm pretty sure, you know, without the item level restrictions, this would be a lot more simple. That is the main thing which is holding us back in all these dungeons. It's simply just the item level restrictions. So we've got it down 50k, 20k, 5k, no k, dead k, down. So there we go. Another boss bites the dust. And we move on to the final boss, which is actually Ner'zhul. Now, if you don't know who Ner'zhul is, he's one of the Warlords of Draenor. And in actual fact, if we were talking about our own timeline, Ner'zhul is the guy who's responsible for opening up all the portals on Draenor, which caused it to blow up. So he's a bit of a shit. He's also the original Lich King. Or he was the Lich King before, at least, Arthas took over. So there's lots of interesting things about Ner'zhul. There you go. You don't need, you know, reams and reams of lore just for me to tell you this kind of stuff. So here's the little cutscene. I've decided to show the little cutscene instead of speed through this. It's only brief. That kind of introduces you to Ner'zhul. And I'm just scooching the footage on because we actually did wipe. I tried to give out the tactics. People weren't listening. We died. So this is the tactics of the fight. He does the Colonel attack. Move out of it. It's a little bit like the first boss. You see the thing coming down from the sky. That kind of acts as if it was the sword that came down from the sky and roots down. Again, just move away from it. It's doing some pulsating shadow damage. You don't want to be near it. And then we've got these guys. The Ritual of Bones. You need to blow one up and force a hole between them from which to move through. They will literally go from one side to the other side. If they reach the other side without the link being broken and you've been able to move through, you will wipe. So there you go. If you break a single link, you can move through the hole and get to safety. So I'm the guy. I've tasked myself with the challenge of marking the ad for us to burn down. So I would absolutely highly recommend that you do designate somebody to mark a specific bone. And all focus on that. There's going to be nothing worse during the Ritual of Bone phase where DPSs are attacking multiple bones. Nothing worse. You've got to focus a single one. So again, don't get apathetic, don't get lazy, don't leave it for somebody else. If there isn't a mark a target quickly, get it burned down. Nothing forces even the remotest of idiots in the game to attack something than sticking a marker on it. You stick a skull on something, people are just like zombies, just like, oh, brains. And they start to meander over to that target and DPSing it. So yeah, surefire way, mark a target, get it done. Other than that, it's pretty much a rinse and repeat, but it is a fun fight. We are getting a couple of things coming down from the sky now, so again, just be careful not to stand near them. But the bone army bit is cool. Now, I'm not sure if you should potentially stack a little bit closer to Ner'zhul. I mean, I've definitely, with his conal attack, realising that a distance that we are, there is the potential to get caught out. There is the potential to get caught out. Sort of like if you were to attack Garrosh during his annihilation phase from range, you could get yourself into awful trouble. Absolutely awful trouble. Now, this ability is not going to one-shot you, whereas annihilation would one-shot you. But maybe, just maybe, we should potentially be maybe stacking on Ner'zhul to just move around quickly. I don't know. I'm just going to leave that in your court to decide. But it doesn't clearly cause us too many issues because we don't seem to get targeted much. He may just focus the cone on the tank, whereas, of course, Garrosh's annihilation focuses on a random target. I don't think Ner'zhul's cone is random. So if it isn't random, of course, then the tank just has to make sure that it's got it pointed away from the raid. So he's always going to... Oh, there you go, look! There we go, loots and loots abound. So it goes off into a different direction. So there we go. That is Shadow Burial Moon Ground thing. Shadowmoon Burial Ground. That's the one. One of the brand new dungeons in Warlords of Draenor, which is of course released now next week. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and twitch.tv for live streaming, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Is he just hacking the dead body? My God, he's just hacking Ner'zhul to pieces. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.